I'm very touched by your remarks, Nikki. I have enormously admired your conduct at the United Nations and in the service of our country. To be a distinguished diplomat, you need character and courage. And Nikki has proved that by standing for the fundamental values of America amidst controversies that were very difficult. And she had the courage to pursue this, but she has combined all of this with extraordinary humanity in a way that makes America both respected and influential. It is very significant to me to be introduced by Nikki. I noted that she pointed out that at one time I was simultaneously Secretary of State and Security Advisor. And I would like to tell this group that never before and never since have relations between the White House and the State Department been as good as they were in those days. And this occasion is also a bridge to enable me to say a few words about my friend Yitzhak Rabin. I met Yitzhak in the 60s when when Jerusalem was still partitioned, when the road to Jerusalem went along outposts of other countries. And he was a soldier. He was a warrior who became commander of the Israeli army in the 67 war. I wrote a description of him in 92 for some Americans who wanted to know what this new leader of Israel would be like. And I said, if any of his interlocutors are counting on influencing him by charm or legalistic formula, they are heading for disappointment. Small talk is not his forte. Personal charm is not his specialty. Redundancy taxes his patience. The commonplace does not capture his attention. He is tenacious as he is intelligent. American and Arab negotiators will not find Rabin a jolly companion on their journey through the thickets of Middle East diplomacy. But Rabin, the warrior, was also a man of great gentleness and of extraordinary insight. I have met no leader whose analytic ability I appreciated more than his. I spent a day with him in the weeks before the peace agreement was signed between, not the peace agreement, but the agreement between the PLO and Israel. And he was prime minister, and he would have to shake hands with PLO leaders. It was very painful to him. And he did not know what he would do when the moment came. But when the moment came, he did it gracefully and with an extraordinary speech. In my experience with Yitzhak, a man who was so matter-of-fact and so analytical, when he talked about peace, he had a particular elevation. And so he spoke to a joint session of the American Congress at the time that a peace agreement was signed between Israel and Jordan. And he said this: I, military ID number 3743, retired general in the Israeli Defense Forces, consider myself to be a soldier in the army of peace. I, who served my country for 27 years as a soldier, I say to you, Your Majesty, the Jordanian King, and I say to you, our American friends, this is the only battle which it is a pleasure to wage. It is said in the Bible, our book of books, peace is mentioned in its various idioms 232 times. In the Bible, from which we draw our values and our strengths, in the book of Jeremiah, we find a lamentation for Rachel, the matriarch. It reads, refrain your voice from weeping and your eyes from tears, for thy word shall be rewarded, saith the Lord. I will not refrain from weeping for those who are gone. But on this summer day in Washington, far from home, we sense that our work will be rewarded, as the prophet foretold. And so when Yitzhak was assassinated, there was the extraordinary phenomenon that world leaders from all over the world assembled in Jerusalem for the services, including from Arab countries. And so I'm honored to have this opportunity to speak here of a man whom I knew as a soldier and as a kind of prophet, who in a small country was conscious of the limited margin of safety, but also convinced that ultimately he would prevail, not only through the strength and courage of his armed forces, but also by the vision and commitment of a society. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity and to remind us that Yitzhak Rabin was a great man, and that Israel and the United States, staying together, will reach the goals which he, his people, and the American people jointly seek. Thank you very much.
Dr. Kissinger, on behalf of American Rabin Medical Center, we thank you, we honor you, and we tonight grant you the Yitzhak Rabin Award for Diplomacy. And thank you for all you've done and reminding us of the greatness in humanity. Thank you.
Thank you.